Good morning, Pella, Virginia. It is championship week. The results are in, and it was a doozy. Carl, you excited to talk about this championship round?
Yes, can't wait. You got Chris and George slugging it out, and then we got the third place battle back, which was unbelievable. Tons of fireworks. Excited to get into that.
Yes, it's always a fun week because everybody comes back and everybody is playing for prizes. So we're going to start off and we're going to review the championship round between Chris and George, and then we're going to take a look at the nine sellers that were in the battle back and all the chaos that ensued there. And then we do have a week 8, so there will be no best bracket update just yet because we aren't done. And stay tuned because you will find out why. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. Chris and George, just recap the results and then we'll discuss that real quick. So it was, George came in after a long hiatus. We had the 2 weeks off, and then he had a bye week while Chris went through the Duncans to escape and get into that championship round. So George came in rusty, and it showed. And Chris he still had some energy left to pull it off, and ended up with a 4-1 victory. Chris took first call close with a score of a result of 20% to 18%. So that was close, but he doubled him in yield with 5,300. He was 3,000 ahead of George with an average job size of 11.6. They both got self-gens, but Chris broke the tie with a new prospect self-gen. So those are the 4 categories he won. George got the lone Google review, and had it come down to a tiebreaker, Chris would have won with 58,000 to George's 26. So we are doing it again.
Yeah. So ironically, this is we both called this. I had Chris going all the way. You had Chris losing in the second round. And I think George stalled out a little bit, got a little rusty on his week off there. He wasn't battling anybody, and we'll see. We'll see if he can get the engine started again this week against Chris. But Chris seems to be on rocket fuel. He's riding high since getting put down in the losers bracket. He had to defeat 2 of the top people in the office right now, Leslie and Dave. They both coming off monster months. Found a way to beat them, and then took down George last week to even the score 1-1 in this tournament. So all comes down to this. It's very exciting. We'll see if it's got fireworks.
Yeah, Chris, he is worn out. He is tired. He wants this to be over, but he will not quit. He will not give up. And I know George wants to win. So I know as an analyst, we're not allowed to talk about who we really want to win, but I want George to win. I'm going rogue because I want our 4th champ. It would be the 4th different champ in the 4 different installments of March Madness over the years. So that would be pretty cool. But I would not be disappointed if Chris won because he is a gamer.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday and George is already bringing the fireworks. So, but he does know not to sleep on Chris.
Well, whoever wins, when you win March Madness, you've earned it. You've earned it. You've gone through the gauntlet and you've earned it. So whoever wins, hats off to them.
Yes. Well, so we did have another result, and frankly, it was the more exciting match because we had 8 sellers going at it last week. And again, how it works is that each of the 5 categories, whoever has the top result in each of those categories gets the point. And again, just like with regular March Madness, the most points wins. Volume B is the tiebreaker. Now, Leslie came in with a full extra point because she lasted till the very end in the losers bracket. And then Dave came in with an extra half a point because he was the second to last eliminated out of the losers bracket. So they did have an advantage. It did come down to 2. The winner ended up winning 2 categories. And we had multiple winners of 2 categories. So volume was the tiebreaker. And there was one person that finished second in 4 categories and came up short. So we're gonna take a look at that. And you'll never believe what it came down to, Carl.
Oh, I think I know. Google reviews.
Yes, it always does. It's amazing how often the winner could have done, or how the loser could have had a different result. have they done different on Google reviews?
Yes, it always comes down to that.
You ready to take a look at the graphic and see who it was?
Let's take a look.
All right. Well, if you notice there, Joshua's in gold. So it was Joshua and Brett that both took 2 categories, and Joshua ended up with a tiebreaker by a little less than 8,000 more than Brett. So it was tight. And Leslie had that extra point. Leslie did have the volume advantage over those 2, but she couldn't seem to get over the hump in any of those 4 categories that you notice that she is marked silver in.
Well, what's crazy is Leslie just needed 1 category, just 1, because she already had that free point, and second across the board probably was the most consistent rep across the board. But it just seemed everywhere she turned, she could not just win that 1 category to take third place. Which is a shame. She played so well in March Madness. I thought she was going to go the whole way. And then to not even get on the podium, it's got to be frustrating. But she did win the belt for last month, so I guess that's not too bad. But she had a wonderful tournament for sure.
Absolutely. Well, let's take a look at the categories. So first call close, Brett dominated. I mean, a 58% first call close. That's a solid effort.
Brett had a great month. He really did. He turned it up. I mean, almost 60% to finish the month. That's super strong. And then you take a look at the yield. Look at just monster yields. Hard to believe that 8,500 comes in second for yield. But Bonnie coming out of nowhere. When we did this last week, we're like, well, she's got a puncher's chance, and maybe she hurt us because she lit it up and had a yield of 9,000, finished the month with over 130,000 in volume. Just super impressed by Bonnie coming out of nowhere. It's like that Cinderella story, right, Jay?
Oh, yeah, I told you she had a lot of verbal commitments.
Yeah,
Gave it up on. I didn't know she had that many, and if you look forward, you will see that she also won volume. But yeah, that yield of 9,000, that is impressive, because 8,500 is a tough number to beat. So then we go into average job size. Big sales. Joshua, he locked him down 22.5. That's getting it done. He didn't have the most stellar first call close percent, but it doesn't matter. You just got to win too, and he did. And then Chase solid at 19.5, so he got a little mention there as well.
Yeah, I think this kind of landed perfectly. I think at the end of the month when everybody's reeling in those big monster sales, and you really saw some big sales coming at the end. But the self-gen category was really between Josh and Leslie. And Josh really turned it up on that last week. You could tell he really wanted to win this third place. He got knocked out early in the tournament, and he landed 3 self-gens to seal it. So it really wasn't close. Leslie did put one in, but again, she came in second.
Joshua, he's not one to land a lot of self-gens. I think 3 is how many he's had in the last 3 years, and then all of a sudden he gets 3 in the March Madness. So good timing, Joshua, because that was the difference maker. And then yeah, we go on to reviews. So Brett did the work to get the reviews and get 2 categories. He just didn't quite have it on the volume tiebreaker. But man, if Leslie gets 1 more, she will share the point with Brett. And that would have certainly helped her cause.
Yeah, or she could have got 2 reviews and won it straight up. 3 reviews in a week is not necessarily a crazy thing. Definitely a winnable category there. But Brett stole it, and so put him in a tie with Josh. So very interesting. Then it came down to volume, and look at that, Bonnie strikes again.
Yep.
117,000. I'll tell you what, every time I turned around, I got an email from Bonnie. Hey, send this contract out. 30,000, 20,000, 25,000. What is going on with Bonnie? She's killing it. And she really made a statement here at the end. And it was basically she, volume was the tiebreaker. I was going to say it was a three-way tie. But really, it came down to Josh and Brett because they had two categories, and it came down to the volume. And then Josh just eked him out at 90,000 versus 82,000. Super, super exciting. Could have went either way, and great battle back. This is what we like to see. Is the competition get ramped up at the end.
Yeah, and speaking of Google reviews, Bonnie gets two, then she also had an opportunity to win it and get that gift card because she had the volume tiebreaker. And Joshua and Brett, they were fourth and fifth. It is worth mentioning Dave. That was 92,000. That was the worst week of the month for Dave. He had 450,000 and came up short in March Madness. Came up short for the belt. I don't know how that happens, but it did.
But nonetheless, Dave had him. I've never seen a month like that before. Almost $500,000 in 1 month is absolutely incredible.
Deserves an honorable mention. So it was a fun tournament, no doubt. But we still have two people left. That is Chris and George. You still got Chris?
Yes.
Giving up on him? You throw it in the towel? It's like, he's done. He's washed up. He's over.
How can you?
Burned out.
How can you toss Chris back like that? I mean, he's gone through the gauntlet of the Duncans when they've been at their deadliest. I mean, Dave with 500, almost $500,000 this month, and he beat him this month. It's crazy that he did that. And then he had to turn around and take on Leslie in a short turnaround week. Did that too. And then finally got George back, tie it up 1-1. I mean, it's just this story of a comeback here that you can't deny. So I'm sticking with Chris, the nature boy. Woo!
I don't know. He's got the 1972 Miami Dolphins. He's gonna crack at some point. I see him pulling a New England Patriots circa 2015 when they lost to the Eli Manning and the Giants in the Super Bowl. I do see that happening. I think George is going to bring the heat this week. He's gonna turn it up. He's very due. I did predict that last week. I think I said it was going to be George in the rubber match, and here we are. So stay tuned. It's happening.
All right. Well, we'll see.
But that's all we got. I mean, maybe we'll do a final wrap up show next week and then Pella first take. The future remains to be seen. We'll see if Patrick signs us to a long-term contract.
Yeah, exactly.
We need more views though. I don't think he's going to if we don't get more than 12 views and 1 like.
Well, look, I'm going to have him talk to my agent. I'm feeling pretty good about myself, about my contract extension.
Yeah, I think Michelle might be out of the job, which is disappointing because she's such a good producer. I can't wait to go back to the craft services table and see what she's cooked for us.
All right, well, let's sign off, and then we'll do one more update next week for the winner.
Absolutely. All right. See you guys later. Have a good day.